C-222 an act to amend the Employment Insurance Act and the Canada Labour Code, death of a child, be now read a second time and referred to the Standing Committee on Human Resources and Skills and Social Development and the Status of Persons with Disabilities. Debate. The Honourable Member for Burnaby North Seymour.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to speak to my private member's bill, Bill C-222, the Relieving Grieving Parents of an Administrative Burden Act, also known as Evans Law. It's an incredible week for me personally to be introducing this legislation. Sunday represented the 10-year anniversary of first being elected to this House, and I thank my friends and neighbours in Burnaby North Seymour for continuing to give me their trust and support over all of these years. But Wednesday also represented the 20-year anniversary for my wife and I being together. So I have to say, through you, of course, Mr. Speaker, but mostly through the television cameras, to my wife, that I love you very much, Ravi, and of course our two beautiful daughters, Nova and Solar, who are turning 7 and 5. So that means I've been an MP for more than half of my relationship and a father for the majority of my time as an MP. Now, why is this important in the context for this bill? Because one of our daughters had a very challenging birth. We came incredibly close to losing her. And if it wasn't for the day and night 24-hour service of a dedicated team of NICO nurses and doctors, the Royal Columbian Hospital, over the first 20 days of her life, she wouldn't have made it. Those 20 days in the NICU gave us a lot of perspective. Not only a deep feeling of gratitude for everyone who works in our healthcare system, but an appreciation for the struggles that parents of young children face every day. We met families who are both emotionally and financially devastated by the unplanned complications that so many new parents face. Sadly, not every story has a happy ending. In Canada, approximately 1,600 families experience the unimaginable heartbreak of losing a child during the period in which they are receiving parental benefits. In those tragic circumstances, our system currently adds a layer of unnecessary pain and bureaucracy to families who are already facing profound loss. Under the current rules, once a child passes away, the family technically no longer qualifies for parental benefits. This means that the family begins to accrue a financial liability that will later have to be clawed back. Now, families can choose to switch to EI sickness benefits, which provide similar compensation, but doing so requires to contact Service Canada. Not just for the initial application, mind you, but every 2 weeks thereafter to confirm their eligibility. This, I think we can all agree, is a cruel and unnecessary burden. Imagine forcing grieving parents to repeatedly explain their tragedy to strangers every 14 days. That is the unfortunate reality of our current system. Evans Law offers a simple, elegant, and compassionate solution. It states that if an individual qualifies for parental benefits and their child tragically passes away during that period, that they continue to qualify. No phone call, no questions, no clawbacks. But also little to no additional cost. There is no significant incremental increase in cost because parental benefits and the EI sickness benefit are nearly identical in value. Actually, this change saves government resources by reducing administrative complexity and eliminating needless red tape. Remember, every time a government official needlessly picks up the phone, it simultaneously increases costs to the taxpayer while decreasing the level of service provided to everyone else. This is a small and technical amendment. The entire bill, fully translated, is less than one page, double-sided. While I have no delusions that this piece of legislation will change the world, I know that it will make a world of difference to those 1,600 families that are directly impacted. Mr. Speaker, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the many people and partners who helped make this bill possible. I'd like to extend my gratitude to the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Jobs and Families, for their guidance and support as the proposal was developed. I want to recognize the previous members of HUMA who studied this issue in 2019 and whose work laid much of the foundation for this legislation. The Honourable Member for Burlington, who was previously the Minister responsible for Service Canada, she helped draft this legislation, she seconded it, she'll be speaking to it later today, and simply this bill wouldn't exist without her. Also, Evan's parents live in her riding, and Evan's mother, Jennifer, was the individual who first raised this issue after enduring the loss of her child. This is the power of a free and democratic society. The ability to turn your own heartbreak into something that will help thousands of families in the future. Thank you, Jennifer, for your immeasurable contribution to this bill. I also want to thank members from all parties who have reached out to me directly to express their support, share their personal stories, and offer constructive ideas. Compassion does not belong to any one side of this House. It belongs to all of us. And I truly believe this bill represents the kind of legislation we can all get behind, one that reflects our shared values and our shared humanity. From my time working at Service Canada, I have seen firsthand how simple, innovative changes can make the government more service-oriented, but also more effective and more efficient. In a time of global uncertainty, our government has expanded services to help make life more affordable and to make Canadian workers more productive. This includes programs like childcare, dental care, pharmacare, and the National School Food Program. All of these programs help improve our quality of life in the short term, but grow our economy and our competitiveness in the long term. But they are only sustainable if we work to make our government as efficient as possible. Our Prime Minister has embodied this philosophy, challenging our government to spend less on operations so that we can invest more in growing our economy and electing the full potential of Canada and for Canadian families. This piece of legislation aligns perfectly with this philosophy, which is important because we require a royal recommendation for this legislation to pass, and I assure you that we are working diligently with the Prime Minister and the ministers responsible to get that recommendation. Modernizing our government, making it more cost-effective, providing better services all at the same time is possible when we all work together. Evan's Law encapsulates this principle perfectly. It is about creating a system that understands that families, when going through a hard time, need compassion, and it responds with effective simplicity. It is about designing government that works for people and not against them. Mr. Speaker, Bill C-222 is a small bill, but one that will make a meaningful difference. It is a reminder that good government is about more than budgets and bureaucracy. It's about people and about the compassion that we show in the moments that matter most. This is a bill that makes sense, that saves money, and that most importantly, reflects the kind of Canada we want to build, one that is fair, efficient, smart, and kind. I hope all members of this House will join me in supporting Evan's Law. And if you have any questions or concerns, I invite anyone in this House or listening at home to reach out to me directly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments? Question et commentaire. Questions and comments? The honourable member for Chatham-Kent-Leamington.